As every month, in today's video I'll talk about the top 5 Prebuilt gaming PCs overall for different type of budgets for the month of February 2022. Now, if your budget is not on this list because maybe it's under $900 or above $4,000, you will have plenty of more gaming desktops down below in the description, as well with the ones that I'll talk about. So keep that in mind. If you want to buy a Prebuilt PC and your budget is not on this list, it's going to be down below in the description. And before starting, I want to say that if you find helpful information throughout this video, leave a like and subscribe, but most importantly hit the bell button so you get notified when I upload this type of content. Without more to say, let's start with the list. With the first PC, and I'm not going to get into too much detail because I have a whole video around this PC that you can go watch in the top right of the screen, but with the first PC we have the big twos by HP, the 15L gaming desktop. This one has the latest i5 12400, then you get 8GB of RAM at 3200MHz. These sticks of RAM of course are on dual channel, and that's something nice because usually Prebuilt PCs at this price point only has one stick of RAM. Of course I recommend you upgrading it to 16GB, but you have all the upgrades that I recommend doing in the review I made about this PC. You also get 256GB of M.2 SSD and the GTX 1660 Super, which is the most important part for gaming at 1080p. Of course, this GPU is going to be capable of running 1080p 60 frames per second in every single game, even the high demanding ones, and it's going to be capable of running at 240 FPS on average in competitive games. Of course, in the proper settings, you are not going to be able to average 240 on the highest ultra settings even in pro games, but you're not meant to play this type of games at ultra settings if you want the highest FPS. But with that being said, I think this combination, the i5 12400 and the GTX 1660 Super, it's a great budget combination that you can't get with a PC build right now. I actually made a PC build video under $1,000, and the performance of that PC build is not going to be better than this Prebuilt PC. So keep that in mind. If you want a PC build, you are going to lose on performance, but you are going to get the experience of building it by yourself. But if you get this Prebuilt PC, you're going to get a much better performance. For the next PC, we have the Amazon's Choice CyberPower Gaming Extreme VR PC. Now this one, it's in almost every single video that I make about the best Prebuilt PCs of the month, and this is because for the price that you're paying, I think it's one of the best PCs, if not the best one, for price to performance. This one has the i5 11400F. Of course, I would like to see the i5 12th gen, but you're paying $950 for a gaming PC that has this processor and the RTX 2060 for the GPU, so you're getting an entry level of ray tracing as well. You get 500GB of SSD. Believe me that the RTX 2060 and the i5 11400F are going to be capable of running basically everything at 1080p. If you want to play at 1440p, I wouldn't recommend going with this PC, but if you want to play at 1080p, 240 FPS, this one is going to be the right one for you, and it's going to be also great for high demanding video games like Red Dead Redemption 2 on high settings at 60 FPS on average. The only downside for this PC is going to be that stick of 8GB of RAM. It's on single channel, but don't worry about it, this is really easy to upgrade, and you will have a link down below in the description as well for the RAM that I recommend you putting for this PC. The airflow for this PC is going to be decent as well. Of course, it's not the best from mesh panel, but it's going to get the job done for this type of components. So overall, I think it's a great buy for the price. With the next PC, we have this Skytech Blaze Gaming PC. Now, this one on Amazon, it's $1,650, but if you buy it from Newegg, you get a $150 discount. So for $1,500, you get a gaming desktop with the i7 11700F with a 240 all-in-one liquid cooler. You also get a 3060 Ti for the GPU. You also get 1TB of SSD, 16GB of RAM at 3200MHz, and a 600 watts gold power supply. This is the only downside for this PC. The power supply, it can be better. You can go ahead and replace this power supply with a 750 watts option, which is going to be way better for this type of PC, but again, it's not fully necessary, and this PC overall is going to work great at 1080p, but also at 1440p 60 frames per second. So if you're thinking of gaming at 1440p, this one is going to be more than enough at 60 FPS average, and even at 144 FPS on average for competitive games 1440p. And also because you get that i7 i7-7700F. It's going to be great for multitasking and streaming as well, and of course video editing and 3D rendering. So I think this PC overall, for the price that you're paying, is actually the best one on the list, and you also get that front mesh panel, so the airflow is going to be decent once again. So let's recap for this PC. If you're thinking of buying 1440p 144Hz monitor or 1080p 240Hz one, this one I think is the best one that you can get for a relatively cheap price, because there's not going to be another gaming desktop for this price with the same exact components. So overall, a great buy. Now with the next one we have the Omen 45L. I have a video about this one as well that I will leave in the top right of the screen with the 15L from Big Tools, and I would recommend you buying this gaming PC only if you upgrade it. I don't recommend the base model with the RTX 3060 because I think it's overpriced, but if you upgrade the 3060 to the 3060 Ti, that price will make much more sense, and you get the latest i7-12700, the RTX 3060 Ti, 16GB of RAM at 3800 MHz and 500GB of SSD, which I actually recommend you upgrading this as well for a total price of $2,200 if you end up upgrading GPU to the RTX 3060 Ti and the storage to 1TB of SSD, which is what I recommend you upgrading. But again, you have my whole review about it and my recommended upgrades for different type of budgets in the top right of the screen. If you upgrade it, then you will be able to run 1440p 144Hz once again, but this time you get a better CPU, you get a better cooling overall as well. So for multitasking, streaming and 3D rendering, this one is going to be better, and it's going to be better as well on gaming because you get the exact same GPU but a better CPU. So for high demanding CPU games, you are actually going to notice a difference. But again, if you want a higher end gaming PC that won't be above $4,000, I still recommend this gaming PC with upgraded components until you reach those $4,000, because above this number you have my number one on this list, and it's another one from Skytech, the Skytech Prince 2 gaming PC. This one has the AMD Ryzen 9 5900X, the RTX 3090, definitely the best GPU on the market right now, but it's too expensive of course. You get 1TB of SSD, and you may want to upgrade this if you have the budget to, and you also get 16GB of RAM at 3200 MHz, which once again I recommend you upgrading. But then you get a 1000 watts gold power supply and a 360mm all-in-one liquid cooler. So the cooling overall for this PC is great. The only downsides are going to be the SSD and the RAM. If you have $4,200, I'm guessing you have the budget to upgrade from 16GB to 32GB at 3600 MHz at least, CL16 memory. Don't worry, once again you will have the link down below in the description. But another upgrade that you should do, I think, is a 1TB SSD. I don't think 1TB is going to be enough for you, especially if you're spending $4,000 on a gaming PC. I'm guessing you are a content creator or you want to do some heavy gaming, so 1TB of SSD might not be enough for you. I would go with 2TB of SSD at least. But once again, down below in the description you will have every upgrade that you need to consider when you're buying one of these Prebuilt PCs. So that was my whole list. It was pretty short. If you're still not sure about these gaming desktops, let me know in the comment section your question and I will reply as fast as possible. And like I said at the beginning of the video, if you found helpful information, I encourage you to leave a like and subscribe, but most importantly hitting the bell button. Thank you guys for watching this video, thank you for the support, and I will see you on the next one.